Hey everyone, it's Kristen here with Pure Anada Cosmetics. Today's tutorial is about highlighting and contouring. It's not just any old highlighting and contouring video because this time I have new products to show you. Let me first introduce you to our new highlighting and contouring shades. First we'll start with highlighting. We have our new shade Ethereal, which is this lovely cool undertone shade of a highlight. So it's got a little bit more of a pink undertone. And then we have Lustrous, which is more of a warm undertoned highlight color, so it's a bit more golden. Both shades are great for pale to deep skin tones. Next, I'll introduce you to our contouring shades. First, we have Alluring. Alluring is a lighter shade of contour, so it's great for pale to medium skin tones. And then we have Beguiling, which is a deeper shade of contour. So it's great for medium to deep shades of skin, or if you want a very dramatic contour. First, I'm going to start with blush, and today I'm going to be using our new color Zinnia, and then I'm going to follow that with some highlighting and then contouring. I like applying blush first because it just brings a little bit of life to the face, and then highlighting because again it just highlights and brightens the face, and then contouring to add that definition. I'm going to take this new shade of blush called Zinnia. It's from our new line of loose mineral blush, and it's this gorgeous deep plum color. I'm going to apply it with my blush brush into the lid, just a little bit on the tip because it's quite vibrant. Tap off the excess and apply it to the apples of my cheeks and then blending back. I like to smile when I'm doing this because it puts me in a good mood, and it also helps me to see the apples of my cheeks. Now that I have my blush on, I'm going to move on to highlighting. Today I'm going to be using the shade Lustrous, so that's the more golden tone of highlight. Now when it comes to highlighting the high points of your face, you can use a larger brush such as a blush brush, or you can use a smaller fluffy brush like our tapered blending eye brush. I'm going to use the small brush because I feel like I have a bit more control when it comes to applying my highlight. So you can take it directly out of the pot, or you can take it out of the lid. I'm going to take it right from the pot, I'm not worried about getting a lot of highlight. Tap off the excess as usual because it's a loose powder. This goes to the high points of the face, so taking it just like starting kind of with a guideline around the eye, so in a C shape. Don't worry, I'm going to blend it out. Right in the temple and the outer cheekbone there. You can see the light gleaming off of it. Ooh, I love it. Now I'm going to take that same brush and just blend it in. So this you're seeing is just giving it this beautiful iridescent golden highlight. Next I'm going to take a little bit just to the tip of my nose, above my cupid's bow, and on my chin. And then whatever's left on my brush, I'm going to brush down my nose and in the center of my forehead. I don't want too much on my T-zone because I do tend to get oily, so not too much there. You can see it's just giving it a nice glow. And then I'm going to take a little bit, and this just really brightens the eyes right under the brow and into this inner corner. Okay friends, now that my face is bright and luminous and full of life, I'm going to move on to contouring. So this is the fun part. I'm going to be using two brushes for contouring. First I'll be using my blush brush, and then I'll be taking my tapered blending eye brush for the finer points of my face. I'm going to be using the shade Beguiling for my contour. It's the darker shade, so a bit more of a dramatic look. But you can use the shade Alluring if you're not as comfortable with contouring, or if you want a lighter bronze. So contouring does two things. Contouring can bronze your face with a matte color, so instead of having any shimmer in it, it's a more matte bronzer. Or it can be used to define the structure, the facial structure, your bone structure in your face. So it can be used to thin out the face or just, define your facial features. So for the contouring, I'm going to be taking the color out of the lid because I want a little bit more control. I don't want to get too much on my brush. Starting with my blush brush and taking it out of the lid just to get a little bit of color on the bristles. And I'm using a clean blush brush, one that doesn't have any blush on it, because I don't want any pink showing through. So I'm going to start in my hairline. So I'm going to be using it as a bronzer and as a contour. So right along my hairline and bringing it down into the temples. When bronzing the face, you can use luminous or a matte color, but when contouring, you want to use matte. If you use a luminous bronzer for your contouring, it's going to make your face look dirty and uneven, and a matte one's going to make it look more structured. And now I'm going to apply it under my cheekbones. So you want to find that hollow in your cheeks. Mine is pretty noticeable, so I know where I put it, but feel right under that cheekbone, and that's where you want to start it. You don't want to start it too low. You kind of want to start it right under that bone. You can suck in your cheeks too. That helps you to find it. And I usually don't start right by the ear. I'll start a little bit in, but then I'll go back to the ear. And just a back and forth motion, just to really get that depth in there. And I like using the blush brush because it blends it while it applies it. And I find, like I said before, the foundation brush is a great blending tool if you find that you just got some harsh edges. It's perfect for blending that out. And you don't want to bring it all the way to your mouth. You want to leave a bit of space there. And you can layer if you want a more dramatic look. You can add a little bit more. The next part of contouring is going along your jawline. So you can either take whatever's left over on your brush or you can add a little bit more. And what you want to do is create a straight line along your jaw, just to really define that line. And this helps just to thin out the jaw as well. If you have kind of a double chin, any extra skin there, it just defines the jaw and helps thin it out a little bit. And you can bring it down the neck too. So this thins it out. So by using a bit of contour on the sides of the neck, just a little bit, don't make it too dramatic, and going down, it's going to help just to thin out the neck as well. Bronzed and contoured kind of on the edges of my face. Now I'm going to contour my nose and under my lips so you can see a little bit more in detail. So for contouring my nose and the finer parts of my face, I'm going to be using my tapered blending eye brush just to get a little bit more detail, because this would just be a little bit too much to kind of contour around the nose. I like to use it for blending it, but not for the actual contouring part. So again, I'm just going to take some out of the lid so I have a bit more control. I just usually start on the top of the bridge of the nose and drawing a straight line down. And this takes some practice, so take some time. Don't worry about it. And you want there to be a little bit of space of the lighter shade, so your skin tone or your highlight color in between the two. You don't want that space in the middle to be too wide, because that's going to widen your nose. You want it to be kind of thin, because that's going to thin it out. You could take whatever's left on your brush and bring it to the brow. And then I like to do a little bit on the tip of the nose, and I'm just going to add a little bit more to my brush. A little bit on the tip. And I usually kind of blend it down just so it thins the sides of my nose too. Again, you don't have to do this. You could just do under your cheekbones if you want. And then I like to take a little bit under your bottom lip, and that creates a shadow, so it gives the illusion that your lips are larger than they are. Right under your lower lip. And then if you need to, you can take your foundation brush and just kind of blend out the sides of the nose and under the lip. You can always dot on a little bit of the highlighter with your ring finger onto the center of your lips and then blend it in, obviously. And that brightness just gives the illusion of fuller lips. Okay, my friends, we're done. That wasn't too hard, was it? So I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and I hope you give it a try. It takes a little bit of practice, but you can do it. I hope you join us again sometime.